What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I am your host, Tony Scorpio, and my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
This is episode number 77, the real episode 77. If you guys watched the last episode, you might have gotten confused. Oh no, I said 77 because it was actually 76. I just forgot how to count for the last two episodes, apparently. So we got it all fixed out thanks to Deception, you know. Um, but today we've got a lot of things. We've got like one big thing to talk about, but a lot of things under the big thing. As most of you know, Faze Clan finally started acting, like Faze Banks kind of finally started acting on his role as CEO this past weekend. Into this week, it's been kind of all over my feed, like all over my YouTube feed, all over my Twitter feed, like everywhere. So I feel like it's very
I mean,
important.
we said it would take a few months
Yeah.
for all this stuff to, end up coming to fruition, and it all kind of dropped last week.
Yep. This was the fruition that we were all waiting for. So let's kind of like break this down a little bit. So I have the Twitter pulled up here on my screen. They changed it. So now it's kind of like I like the theme that they went for this kind of like reboot. Literally like a reboot. Like that's pretty much what they're doing. They're using the computer theme, and I really like that. I think that was a good touch on them. Their announcement video was pretty good, in my opinion, personally speaking. Um, but they kind of did it like you're restarting a computer, which I feel like is really good because they're restarting the company. Um, so I'm very excited that this is what this has come to. If you see, like, there's a couple little Easter eggs within the video. Like, it shows you Phase Keep underscore members, and then it shows the members, but there's four members loading. As of recording this episode, we know who.
They announced one already.
They've announced three already, actually.
They announced more?
Yeah. So if we pull this up, you can kind of see it. This is kind of who they kicked out of the creators. So they kicked Agony, Blaze, Booyah, Seabass, Scissors, Foxy, Flea, High Sky, J Smooth, Kaylee, Nate Hill, Neo, Pros. They put replays in there, but they kept replays, so I'm kind of confused on that. Santana, Sway, and Testy. So Flea, Foxy, and I believe Neo were all Phase 5 people that were still in here that got kicked. Like Phase Virus, he left a while ago, so like he's irrelevant, but
Yo, it's crazy. Pros literally won Phase 1 and he's out.
Yep. Yep.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's like I kind of understand it though, because like that was like the new era of Phase. They didn't want to like do that. One thing I did like that they did in their keep, actually I'll pull it up on their website because they redid their website to fix this, and they have the full roster of all the people that are on there. They still have one person that they haven't announced yet, as you can see on the website. I did like how they kept Ronaldo. I feel like they would have gotten a lot of backlash if they didn't. I mean, they got a lot of backlash anyway, but Ronaldo, he is like what Phase is all about. You know, he grinded for this shit for years and years and years, and they finally brought him on. So I feel like he was a good pickup, and he's one of those guys that was willing to do like anything and everything for Phase. So I'm glad they kept him. This list is not too different from what Deception and I thought it was gonna be. Hold on.
There are a few in there that I thought would stay that ended up
Yeah.
leaving, but
Yeah, let me make this a little bit bigger here for you guys. I know it's really like small, but
for the most part, the people that I thought would stay ended up staying.
yeah. So we've got Adapt. We kind of knew that was gonna happen. Apex, Banks, all three of those, we knew that was gonna be the case.
Yeah, they're like the owners. I ain't leaving.
Yeah. Jev, we kind of figured he was gonna stay. I mean, because it's Jev. There is no Phase without Jev, in a lot of people's opinion. He's kind of like done his own thing, but he's such like a pinnacle in this.
In a lot of people's opinion, like nowadays, Jev is like the realest Phase member.
Yeah,
that there is.
Yeah, and he kind of like tried to like keep himself out of all the stuff that was going on with like the, new Phase kind of esque type thing, and kind of he's always kept himself. But I'm glad he stayed. He's really important in the community. Kasan, I don't really know Kasan. to be honest with you. But anyway,
I think Kason is a rapper.
okay.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. Let's look him up real quick. Let's look him up. Uh, music producer, creator, DJ, esports gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But it seems like he's tight with Banks, so that kind of that makes sense to me. And then we've got one more announcement, which is probably gonna come today. Honestly, like they've been coming pretty much every day. So since they dropped everybody.
Since it's Wednesday, it definitely will come today.
Yeah, so you guys will probably figure this out. And hopefully it'll come by the end of the podcast, but probably not because they're Pacific. Nick Merckx, that was kind of a given, I think. Nick Merckx staying. He's just so big, and I feel like given the opportunity, he will do what he needs to do for Faze. And he reps.
I think because they said that they wanted to keep people that like keep the essence of Faze and like represent Faze well, and I think Nick will.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the man's is. I mean, he tried to. He was starting 100 Thieves with nade shot, so like. I feel like he's like gonna be a good asset for them, so it makes sense why they kept him. I know he's off in Florida doing his thing with his family and separately, but he reps Faze daily. Like it's in his like overlays, and I'm sure he'll do what he needs to for the organization.
I definitely think that it's good that they kept him.
And then we got replays. I believe that was a good choice personally. That was one of the ones that was in the kicks, but he was in the States, so it was one of those like I think they just like fucked up a little bit on that part. Whoever made this, Ronaldo, we already kind of talked about him. Rug, I feel like that's like a given. Like Rug kind of
Rug was a given too. Yeah.
Rug kind of has to like. I feel like if they got rid of Rug, like that would be. There is no Rug. It's Faze Rug. Like that's his name.
They would
like,
lose a little bit of the original Faze if they got rid of Rug.
Yeah, and he's such a like a big YouTuber, even though he doesn't really do gaming much anymore. Like he is a reason why a lot of people know about Faze.
Yeah, he's grown to be a whole lot more than just playing COD and playing games all the time.
Because like my little brother, like my little brother-in-law, like Rissa's little brother, he knows Faze because of Rug, but doesn't know anything else about Faze. But he watches Rug like all the time. So
dude, I've seen Faze Rug in like YouTube videos that I never even thought I would see him in the past. Like I remember like one time like I saw this video with him in it, and I was like, I haven't seen Faze Rug in like years.
Yeah. So I think they'll probably, and he's out there in LA with them, so I think they'll kind of incorporate him into more content. We got Scope. Scope, I think, is kind of like the same thing as Ronaldo. They're both like hardcore grinders for Faze, and they represent a lot of the OG Fazeness.
Scope is a lot like Jiv. I think that's why a lot of people like him.
He's a good dude, and he's very genuine and stuff like that. So I'm glad they kept him. He's good.
Yeah, I was really hoping they would keep Scope because I was a real big advocate of him being in Faze whenever
it was the Phase 5, I think, is when.
Yeah, whenever they were doing Phase 5 and stuff, and even before then, I was a big advocate ever since I discovered who that guy was, because he's been trying to get in Phase. Like before he got in Phase, he had been trying for like a decade. Like the guy had been grinding, and
so
when he made it, I was like, thank God.
Yeah, so we're glad. I'm glad he stayed. Hold on, I'm just adding some height to my mic so it's closer to my mouth. And then they've got Silky. He was a new addition. Swag. This was one that I was kind of like.
That was a weird one.
I was back and forth about because I knew they were cutting the Nuke Squad. It was kind of rumored because they weren't renewing the house. And obviously every other Nuke Squad member's gone out of Faze. So I'm glad they kept Swag. I mean, he reps the brand well. I feel like he's the only Nuke Squad member that should have been in Faze in the first place, in my opinion. But I'm glad they kept him. He's a good representation of like.
Swag is sort of the same as Nick Merckx, where it's like it was a pickup, and like when Faze was in arguably like becoming a really bad state when they picked him up, but like he at the same time, it's like he does represent Faze very well, and he is a really good image of what they want.
And then they've got Temper. I think we kind of knew that was gonna stay. your age. I feel like him being in Phase was kind of. I feel like that was. I mean, he's buddies with Banks pretty well. Like they're pretty tight. So
I feel
that's
like
kind
that's
of
a
a
common theme of some of the people that stayed. It
yeah,
was a little questionable.
yeah. So I feel like that's kind of. I feel like a lot of what it is. Um, I feel like a lot of it was just like who was tight with Banks and everything like that. I think they wanted to go back down to the core of like homies making videos together, putting out content,
Yeah,
playing video
a
games.
lot of people I think felt a little weird about it being who was tight with Banks and who was homies and stuff. But that's how it started, so it
Yeah.
makes that's how this works.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what they were trying to. I think that was the goal that they were trying to go with this roster, and I feel like that makes sense. And then we've got Zuma. I think they would be stupid if Zuma was. I think he's carrying like the entire COD competitive scene on his back right now, along with Scump. So, for him to be kicked, that would be like a stupid decision.
Yeah, it's really good that they kept him for not only the COD side but also the esports side because
Yeah,
I would say out of anybody, he's probably the most prominent person on the esports side of Face. So
yeah.
that
So
was a really good move.
yeah, I think this was a really good thing, and they kept all. So like going over to the esports side, coming off of Zuma, they kept all their teams. Counter Strike, Call of Duty. I didn't realize how many teams they had until this. Like this is a lot of teams. They have Counter Strike, Call of Duty, Halo, Rainbow Six, R1. What's R1? I don't know. PUBG Mobile, Apex Legends, Super Smash, FIFA, Fortnite, Tekken, and Rocket League. So they're keeping the esports side of things. Oh, they also have a drop down of their. Oh, I like that. They have a drop down of their rosters for this. I like that. I didn't realize that. Oh, for some of them, not the Rocket League team, but oh, they have one.
Honestly, like it doesn't surprise me. Um,
Well, a lot of these are just like one. Why is
it
Snipe
doesn't.
down under Apex Legends? He's a Halo player. No, he's not. Snipe
Snipedown
down?
plays Apex now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just stupid then. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just crazy.
Snipedown used to play Halo. He plays
Okay.
Apex now.
So I was kind of right. Anyway, so they're keeping all their competitive rosters, which I think is a good move. I mean, their competitive teams are doing really, really well in every single esports that they're in. I mean, like Atlanta FaZe is super dominant, Counter Strike is super dominant, Halo, they literally just won the championships last. Like they just their competitive side is doing really well, so it makes sense of why they kept this. I feel like they should do a little bit more content with them, but at the same time, like I'm not sure what they're gonna do because I'm not them. One
I
person,
mean, who knows? They might start doing more content now
yeah,
that they have a lot less members
yeah,
on the content side. They
yeah.
might start investing a little bit into the esports part of it.
So one, hold on, I'm trying to find. There we go. So one person that they did cut that I don't think was a good decision, and this is
Okay.
like the one person out of all of these. Like all of these, I kind of understand. The one that I don't get is Kaylee. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kaylee,
Yeah,
I
the Kaylee
don't
one,
get.
and she was even a little bit distraught at getting cut.
Like,
Like,
because most of these people, they're like, yeah, like I understand, like why I was cut, kind of drifted away, you know, from like the scene and everything. But Kaylee, like Agony too. Like I was a little confused, but he kind of like drifted. Like I don't think
yeah,
I
I
cared
could
anything about
understand the
Agony.
agony thing. Agony, like, they were a little,
Yeah.
they were lacking on content
And
a
I
little bit.
understand like all the phase 5 people getting dropped because they're all picked up by like Seabass. So like I understand like all like pretty much all of this list except for Kaylee. So I'm wondering like I personally I think that was the one person that they should have capped that they didn't. She's fits the phase vibe. She would definitely like if they given a chance, she would be homies with all of them. Like she fits right into it too. Like even her vibe, like I don't know. So like that is like the one critique that I have on this is why did they cut her? But I understand that it wasn't anything personal and they were going for a certain vibe, but like she was one of those people that was like willing to do anything for the org. So and she wasn't really problematic either. I mean, she does say some things that are kind of like off the rails, but like at
Her
the same
Twitter's a little crazy.
but you know, it fits the vibe though. Like it fits the Faze
It
vibe.
does.
Like
It does really fit the vibe they were going for. That's what I thought was really weird
yeah,
um about her and like a couple others getting kicked is like it didn't really make sense to me, but like I kind of get it. Like Kaylee was definitely the most egregious one of all of them.
yeah. Because like I mean, like you know, like a lot of these people were in Faze for like half their lives. A lot of them, but they did drift out away from it at the end, or you know, like things happen or
Or
whatever.
before the end in some cases.
Yeah. So like I don't know. That's the one that and it is partial. Okay, I'm partially biased because I freaking love Kaylee. Like she's an amazing streamer. She's very real, and one also she brought like she was the only was the only woman on the roster for
Well, and the other thing is Kaylee's like a hardcore COD player.
yeah,
Like
she like
I thought that's what they
carries.
wanted.
She's one of the also one of the other people that carries like the Warzone and the Call of Duty scene on her back as well. Like a lot of these people like Zuma like carries like the esports side of it, and Nick Merckx kind of does like the Warzone bit, but he kind of like goes back and forth. Like it's not his main game, especially everything happened that like with his skin and everything. But like Kaylee, she stuck through it all. Like she kept playing, she still plays, she, you know what I mean. So it's like that one was a little confusing for me. But then again, I'm not Banks. Like I don't know what his thought process was behind it, so I'm not gonna like critique it too much because I understand like there's a rhyme to the reason. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to like. I wish I could like. Wish I could like. I don't know, but it is what it is. You know, it's done and over with now. People have been kicked. I mean, from what so I watched. I think I'd say like 90% of all the leaving videos that people made, and my main conclusion was a lot of people, besides Kaylee, like understood why they were kicked. Um, like they were like, yeah, makes sense. You know, you know, not gonna let this stop me. I'm gonna go and do my thing and
Yeah.
and you know, look for the next opportunity. And I wish Faze the best. That was kind of like the consensus over most of them. And it wasn't like a trying to avoid getting sued type thing because I didn't even think Banks would even do that. But I think a lot of it was genuine. Like they understood. But for a lot of them, it came out of nowhere. For some people, you know, they got a phone call literally just before the announcement. Some people it was months before. You know, like it really ranged depending on the like person. So there really wasn't like a general like other than the you know understanding and moving forward. Part of it there wasn't really a general consensus on like how things were done. I mean, for a lot of people, they got screwed over. They felt like they got screwed over with the way that they were told or lack thereof. So, I mean, so it really, it's kind of like there is really no like general consensus on like how everyone feels about this, but for the most part, it's all like, you know, being like, yeah, like I understand. I'm gonna move on with my own career type shit. Um, So, talking about the 4 people that were added to the roster, we only know 3 of the 4 so far. As we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, the 4th one will probably be announced today, probably right after the podcast, because that's how it always goes. So, the first one was Playboy Max. Don't know. I've never heard of any of the 3 people that they picked up. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but I've also been off the grid recently, so you know these guys like I think Playboy Max like he literally like just came up within the last like 3 years, but I really like the production quality of all their different videos. Like I feel like the way that they did these like announcement videos, amazing. Like I understand like this is what kind of like we've been waiting for is like this level of quality from Faze again. And we see it here. I mean, we've got like Banks in these videos. He's back in front of the camera. We've got like the different like production quality, the integration of stream into these videos. So I think the way that they did these announcement videos were really, really good. I'm not them. I don't know why they picked these guys up. So, I mean, they picked them up. They picked them up for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of like this is definitely like the Faze vibe, the partying in LA, drinking kind of stuff. Then here comes Banks again. You know, like I'm guessing so they all hop into a car, right? At the end of these videos. So I'm assuming that there's gonna be a video with all of them at like the Faze office or something. I don't know. But and then yesterday was Jason the Ween. I've never heard of this guy either.
Jason the Ween.
But his video also ends with him getting in the car. So I mean, so there's definitely something. There's something here. They're gonna meet somewhere. I know it. So and then today will be another one, and I'm pretty sure like there'll be a fifth video with something with that. I know there's something with that car. Like I know there's something with that car. I don't know what it is yet, but I know there's something. But I mean, from what I've heard, like people have been getting backlash. Like these people have been getting backlash for being picked up, but it's not that. It's not on them. Like they didn't kick these people. This is not anything. This is all Banks and his way of working through this thing. He's trying to do a total reboot of Faze Clan and try to make it better and kind of like go back to that core people that are all on the same page, ready to work. So I think that's what's gonna happen.
I just really think it's funny that like back when like Faze was picking up all these people just randomly, everybody was like, "Why are we picking all these people up? It doesn't make sense." And now like it's the same thing when they're actually making calculated decisions.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. People are gonna give hate to these pickups no matter what. It's just how it is, especially when you're big as Faze Clan is. Like the thing that I say a lot on this podcast is we're not them, so we don't know what their thought process is behind it. We only know so much based off of what they tell us and what we can like infer from there. But I think this is going to be a good move for Banks. He's picking up people that he likes the content of, that he knows he can fuck with. And that's kind of how it all started. He like they were all with people that they knew that they would have a good time with and that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good for them. I think it's going to be a rocky few months as far as hate goes. I think they're going to get a lot of backlash for this just because of the people that they dropped and the way that they did it. Personally, I think there was a better way for them to have gone about, getting like, clearing out their roster. But then again, Banks was looking to burn some bridges and keep some of them intact. Hold on, let me go to the search bar here. Banks has been super active on Twitter recently. He's been like the most active I've ever seen him. He's been like people. Let me go to Faze Banks. Yeah, so he's had post after post after post. 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4. He's been like posting pretty much every day. So he's been sober for 60 days from nicotine. Good for him. Replies, he's been replying like crazy. So I think it's just gonna be a lot of crazy stuff here for the next couple. Yeah, he's been very like screw you guys kind of thing. He's been saying the R slur a lot, which I'm not a big fan of personally. That's not something that's in my vocabulary. because that's just not how I roll, personally speaking. But to each their own, I guess. I think it's gonna be a lot of like we're gonna see a lot change in the next few months in the gaming scene, and I feel like this is one of those changes. Just like the gaming scene as a whole. Um, like I feel like, and not even just like with Faze, but I feel like there's the gaming scene is gonna go under a reconstruction just overall. I've been kind of like alluding to this for the past like year. It needs to happen. So, and it's finally happening, and starting with the biggest organization on the list. Um, so we'll see how it goes. Reception? Any thoughts, feelings?
I'm just interested to see what happens, especially like, I mean, I don't know if they'll pick up anybody else, but like, I'll be interested to see if anybody maybe possibly ever comes back, or um, if they just stay with this roster for a while, um, content wise. Uh, I'll be interested to see what kind of content they make with the people that are left. I think that's one of the biggest things. Is everybody's talking about who stayed or left, but it's like, what's going to happen with the people that stayed, and what's going to happen with the roster that is remaining?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out, though. I know, this isn't. Um, I don't know. I'm really excited to see this play out. Um, they still have the stuff on the. They still have the merch on there, which is interesting. I'm interested to see it. I really am. Like I'm. This will either be really good for them or really bad. And so I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know, man. This is gonna be a interesting few months. Um, but so yeah, back to the backlash part. So I hope everyone that doesn't want to support Faze anymore comes and supports the Scorpion Syndicate. Personally speaking, that's my own. That's an opinion. That is my own, for my own personal gain.
Yeah.
If you hate what's going on with Faze, come join the Scorpion Syndicate crew. You know what I mean? Hashtag Scorpion Syndicate, not Phase Up. Um,
Phase
because
down.
Phase down. Um,
Dude, basically every time FaZe loses a CDL match, Wyatt puts that picture in our group chat because he knows Cash likes FaZe. It's so funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. Hashtag Phase down. Oh my god.
Have
I
you
love
seen
that.
that?
No, I haven't.
Hold on, I'll find it for you.
Oh, I love that. But I don't know. I think this whole entire scene is going to go under a reconstruction period, and that's kind of where we're in. I think that's what 24 25 is going to be for the gaming world. It's just a reconstruction period. Um because there's a lot of I mean, like I've talked about it here before. The pandemic really boosted the growth of the scene, and it smells like glue in here. Yeah. I think that's because you like put a hole to a glue to glue your thing back together. So we're just inhaling fumes. Oh my. All right, guys. I think this explains a lot about me. Since there's glue fumes in our room. Fumes. I feel like that just explained itself, actually.
What?
You need to yell to talk. I'm sorry, but if you're taking up the whole sidewalk and also screaming, this one bitch looks behind her at the horde of people waiting for them to move fucking faster. Looks and goes, bitch, walk! Move! It's a fucking sidewalk! So fucking walk! So bad.
So, Riss, what's your thoughts on Faze Clan?
Who? Which ones are they?
They're the ones that it's like the biggest gaming org in the country.
My
They
true
just-
thoughts are I don't really give a fuck.
All right, cool.
Have we considered that maybe they're dumb? And I'm assuming it's all men, so they're probably all ugly too. I'm gonna fucking move right now. That's for a fucking look. Imagine turning around, looking everybody dead in the face. A horde. There had been like 10 people behind them. Walk. Yeah, so I got 9 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10 because they told me I had too much, but I know I'm a yap. Shut the fuck up and walk.
All right, guys, take that as a warning not to mess with Riss today.
Warning taken.
Like, come on.
And walk the speed of traffic, not set the speed of traffic. And yeah. But as Riss said, I mean, like, they are kind of, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna.
I know they think. I know they think they're the baddest bitches because they're the number one. I'm sure half of them aren't that good.
Well, they just did a reboot of the entire organization. They like dropped like most of the roster.
Oh, told ya. Because they sucked, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, they just got a new CEO.
Probably another man.
It is another man, actually.
Of course it is.
But
Always
it's
the fucking man. Have we ever considered maybe a change of speed if we had like a woman? Maybe it'd be better.
yeah. They also dropped their only like female content creator too.
Aww. I love it when people do that.
She was actually like she should have stayed though. Like it was definitely not like a good decision on their part.
And hear me out on this one.
Period. See,
Mm.
as Riss quotes, I'm quoting Riss here, with a thumbs down. Also that like tickled my tongue when I did that.
Okay.
Just wanted to point that out. But I mean, yeah, I think they have I don't know. This is what we're trying. This is one of the problems that we're trying to solve with Scorpion Syndicate is like the lack of like
Female content creators.
yeah, female content creators and just female presenting people in higher positions of power in general. And that's something that they have always been lacking and are going to obviously continue to lack now that Face Banks is in charge. That's kind of like the one thing that I think Banks.
Excuse me, can I please have $20 in cash for these coins? Mr. Banks.
I don't know if you guys heard what Rich just said, but they said, "Excuse me, can I have $20 in cash for these coins, Mr. Banks?"
Oh my god.
So fucking funny.
That was funny. I like that.
I don't have nearly enough rice.
Take some rice for mine.
Alright. I'm gonna have fried rice.
Oh.
White rice.
But so that's something like we're trying to solve with Scorpion Syndicate is like this big like diversity problem in the scene of just women being underrepresented, even though like I'm pretty sure I saw this
No, 'cause there's
There you go.
mushrooms on this.
I'm pretty sure I saw this it was like a while ago. I could be wrong. It could have changed since then, but
I'm not sure how I'm feeling, but it's not great.
where's the phase down thing? You sent me. Oh, there it is.
Hey, now.
I like that. It's good. Face down, bitch. I like that. So
Oh, it's so funny.
it's funny.
Shut it down.
But yeah, so this is like a big problem in gaming in general. Women make up more like women play more games than men do.
Don't ever be
Sorry, I was just
sorry.
but yeah, like women play more video games than men, like statistically. And there's underrepresented in the entirety of esports, not only in the competitive scene but on the business side as well. So that's something that like needs to change. And with this change of the Faze Clan roster, it's
I mean, it
it's
makes sense.
yeah, like they definitely reverted, I guess you could say, on um their progress that they were making, essentially. Um, so it was just, I don't know. They've got, I think they backpedaled a little bit, personally speaking, as far as where the gaming world needs to go. But then again, I'm not them. That's not my company. I, can only speak on it so much. But their decisions are their decisions to make.
We'll just have to see what happens in the future.
Yeah. I mean, if they can find like another female content creator to bring on that fits the vibe, personally speaking, I don't think I know another female content creator that fits the vibe as good as Kaylee does. But
You know who I think would be a good Faze member?
who?
Butters.
Oh, well, Butters was already in Phase, kind of like Atlanta Phase, and I'm pretty sure
Atlanta Faze though,
Yeah.
it's not really the same. Like
No.
Atlanta Faze for a little bit tried to have her as like, and I don't remember, but I think they might have had a couple others as like content creators, but it just didn't work because it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Butters would be a good addition to Phase, but I don't think she fits where Phase is wanting to go, because Phase has always been like the bro homie, the bromy, kind of the bros, kind of clan with like that frat guy mentality. And like, yeah, fuck you, when Butters is like positivity and happiness is her like uh it's like her whole mantra. And I feel like she'd be a good fit for any organization except Phase because of that. She's such a polar opposite, and like if they weren't going for this specific vibe, I say she'd be a really good fit for Phase, but she doesn't fit the thing that they're trying to go back to, you know? I feel like she'd be a good addition, but I feel like she wouldn't mesh with what they're trying to accomplish.
That's true.
She's such like a positive. If she were to go into any of the big like organizations, I guess like I think Optic would be like the one that I feel like she would go into. I feel like that's
that would be interesting.
That's the one that she would fit best into is Optic. Just out of like her whole vibe.
That would be very interesting.
Her relationship with all the members. Like she did a beat around the bar with Hitch, and it was like they were like, it's like they did it every day, type thing. Our microwave
Imagine
is like,
though.
why does our microwave do that? Is it like an unbalanced thing? Sorry, our microwave
Imagine
is
Optic of Butters.
I think that would be a good pickup for them, personally
I think
speaking.
it'd be cool.
I think Optic Butters would be an amazing pickup, personally speaking. I feel like she would fit so well with it. She would have to like move out there, which I think is something that's stopping her. She likes living where she lives. She just got a new house. Like,
I don't know. I feel like with the right opportunity, she'd probably do it.
Yeah, she would.
Because that's the whole thing about Optic is they give you all of the opportunity you could possibly have. So it's like, why not?
Yeah. And she's very heavily focused on content. She loves Call of Duty. She'd be a great support. Like, I'd love to see her get on like the watch party. You know, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think that's where Butters would be the best fit. I feel like she could go to 100 Thieves, but I don't feel like she fits that vibe. You know, like I feel like she would do well there. I just don't think she would like mesh well with everybody there.
If she went, I don't know how long she would stay.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as like 100 Thieves goes, like they're like I feel like they're like the best. They're like the one organization that's doing diversity the best. I feel like they have a very diverse team of people of all different games, of all different backgrounds, and I feel like that's something that they deserve props for. But I don't know. I feel like it's very there's some definitely other places where they can improve, obviously, but their content team is very diverse, and they all fit a certain vibe, like they're all very like close. They're all friends, and I feel like that's something that's like notable. Is like when it comes to these organizations, they all kind of have to be friends for it to be successful, and I feel like that's a very like notable thing. But I don't know. There's got to be some big changes here coming to the esports industry, and people really need to look and be like, okay, what are we doing well? What are we doing not so well? And we have to go through this reconstruction period of just like probably ending up tanking everybody's salaries so we can afford to do certain things, and cutting people, which is something that's been happening. I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
That's like to be expected at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
but now the last like year is gone. It makes sense.
Everybody's doing layoffs. It doesn't matter if you're Faze Clan or whatever. Like everybody's just cutting people. The thing that surprises me the most about Faze Clan though is like these creators weren't being paid for the most part. They were literally just like getting like brand deals, I guess, and then creating content underneath the Faze Clan name. Like they weren't getting paid like a salary or anything. So it's kind of different than the layoffs that happen at like 100 Thieves, for example.
I mean, and maybe that's what they're going for with this version of Faze. Maybe they want to salary these people now, so they cut a bunch of people so they can make sure that they have the funds to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there should have been some sort of like. I feel like a lot of the people in Faze, I feel like they should have had like a sit down conversation with them and try to figure out, if it could work or not. But a lot of them, they just kind of like made the decision point blank without them. And for some people, I get, it's kind of understandable. But for other people, I feel like they deserve to have that conversation to see if they would be able to bring Faze Clan back to where they once were, And I feel like these pickups wouldn't have gotten as much backlash if they hadn't cut, so many of their very good and valuable members. I feel like that's one of the reasons why they're getting so much backlash on this, is because of that fact. I feel like that's probably like the main reason, is because they cut a lot of people's favorite content creators ever. People that have been in Faze for longer than some of the people.
They cut a lot of people that like had been there for a while.
Yeah,
like they cut some people who were there before Faze started quote unquote going down. As a lot of people it
before the dark era of Faze, as I've heard it mentioned as recently a lot.
One of the big ones that kind of like was trending on Twitter was Fakey, because he was kind of just he was going off about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think a lot of backlash could have been avoided if they had sat down with these members and explained to them properly, this is why we're cutting you. I feel like a lot of them deserved that respect. There were some of them that didn't. I mean, like, Santana, screw him. I don't like him. He is very much a pick me, kind of like hopping on saying stuff just for the impressions kind of guy. As we've seen previously, I think he's like he likes to hop on the train to benefit himself type kind of guy. So that's my personal opinion. But, I feel like they all kind of deserved like a sit down conversation of being like, this is why, we're not going to stick with you. We appreciate everything you've done, sticking through Faze through this dark time. But there's definitely a better way that they could have gone about it. Giving them the reason why they were cut, because like a lot, I'm sure they all sat down together and like, okay, here's our list. Who do you want to keep? Who do you want to get rid of, and why? Like they definitely had a why. They had a reason why, and they could have given that to the people. Even if, in my personal opinion, I don't believe some of them, needed a reason, but they should have gotten one anyway. everyone should have gotten a reason why they're picked up, you know, because I mean, personally, I can see a reason why all of them were dropped. And I feel like if they had just sat down, had a good conversation with them, even if it was over the phone, and just explained to them, hey, this is why we're, you know, parting ways with you. Like, we appreciate everything you've done for the Faze, you know, but, you know, this isn't going to be happening because
Banks just doesn't do that.
Yeah, he just doesn't do it. And I understand that's a very business way of going about it. It's not, it's more of like it's not just a business way of doing about it. Like, it's a respect thing, you know? Like, it's definitely like, I respect everything that you've done for this company. So here's the reason why we're not, you know, keeping you anymore. Thank you. Bye. You don't even have to say thank you. Just be like, this is why we're kicking you. Peace out. Like, you don't have to be like, it just, people deserve a reason. It's not a business thing. It's a respect thing. That certain people, especially with this whole, like, with Faze, like, everything that the company has gone through for the past few years, like, the people that stuck there and stuck with it and, you know, went through 7-8 different managers within a year, like, they deserve to be like, hey, we appreciate everything you've done, or even just, hey, this is why we're not keeping you anymore. And, like, they deserve a reason. And you know, because if they don't get an exact reason why from Faze Clan themselves, like from Banks and from Apex and Adapt, like, and then Temper, like, they're just gonna speculate based off of their own opinion, and you know, they could be totally wrong. Like, they could totally be off base by why they left, and it could be a totally different reason. So I don't know. It's gonna be it's I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting few months in the Faze world. I feel like they're going to continue
it's already,
to get a lot.
the last like year for Faze has already been interesting enough. I think it's only about to get more interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to get interesting, but I think it's going to start getting better for them. As much as this sucks for all the
if they do it right. If they do it right.
They've already started out pretty well with their content. I don't know what their YouTube's looking like. Let me look at that real quick, actually. Faze Clan. Whoa. Yep, they have not uploaded a single video to YouTube yet in 6 months. There's not been a single video. So we'll see if that changes. They didn't even upload the new announcement. They didn't upload anything in regards to this. So we'll see.
It will be very interesting.
Yes, it will. I hopefully I want to see this kind of pop back off again, the Faze Clan YouTube. I feel like it can. I feel like it will, but it's just a matter of when.
Man, now I'm not gonna say I low-key want to play COD, but like, they added the bow from Advanced Warfare today.
Yeah.
Kind of want to try it. Kind of want to.
Go for it. Are you still streaming on the Syndicate channel today?
Yeah, but I don't think I'll play COD. I don't think I could play COD for that long.
That's fair.
I could play X-Defiant for that long, but you know, X-Defiant isn't out.
Well, it needs to come back. I've missed it.
I need it.
I need it bad.
I need it
bad. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we're gonna call it today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As per usual, this podcast will be uploaded to YouTube at 4 p.m. EST later today. For those of you that are watching live and missed part of it or want to rewatch certain parts, we appreciate everyone tuning in. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, follow the streams. We stream this live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST over on our Twitch channels, twitch.tv/toners_scorp and twitch.tv/deception276. So yeah, thank you for watching The Real episode 77. We appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think about Faze Clan and what they've done recently with all these drops and everything. Who you think should have stayed, who you think should have been kicked that was kept. What you think of these new pickups? Where do you think they're gonna go? Like, give us some thoughts on where you think Faze Clan's gonna go here in the next year of their
If they do it
life
right, I
cycle.
think it'll work out fantastic.
Yeah. If
Right
they
now,
don't-
it's looking weird, but
it's looking a little funky, but like I said, we're not them, so we really don't know. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. See you guys next time. Deception, say bye.
bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.